Hello everybody, it's Shane Lambert. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to be talking about fantasy sports in this video here. In particular, I'm looking at the Major League Baseball games on October 5th. It's the divisional round. There's 8 teams in action. And for a fantasy pick, to keep things short and sweet, I'm going to be focusing on your pitcher. Who's the best pitcher with FanDuel? So the top price pitcher is Zach Wheeler. Then it goes Garrett Cole, Yamamoto, Cease, Bibby, Wacha, and Holton. So those are the guys that are going to be getting the start tomorrow. Of course, with fantasy, with pitching, you need the strikeouts. You do need a guy who is going to last a little while too. He's got to go. You want him to go 7. You're dreaming for a complete game shutout, of course, but keeping it real, you're really hoping that the guy goes 7. But you also need a guy with a lot of strikeouts. And I think the best pick for tomorrow is either going to be Garrett Cole or Zach Wheeler. Firstly, both of those pitchers are pitching from home. Secondly, they're both good at the strikeouts. Thirdly, they're both well rested, so you can hope for, they're not going to be taken out at the first sign of trouble. They could work through a problem in the early innings or even in the 4th inning, and hopefully that they will still be going out there for the 7th to see if they have their best stuff still going. But you can really hope for them to go 5 or 6, and if they only go 5 or 6, you can hope for them to get a lot of strikeouts. A guy that only goes 5 or 6 with a lot of strikeouts is better than a guy on average who it might even go 7. Even if the guy who goes 7 doesn't allow a lot of runs, if he only gets like 4 strikeouts, you're better off with the guy who goes 5 innings and ends up with 9. So I think you would go with Zach Wheeler of Philadelphia or Garrett Cole. A Tanner Bibby isn't a bad pick for a guy who might get a lot of strikeouts too, and he's pitching from home for Cleveland. So let's look at their prices. Okay, Wheeler's the market leader. He's at $10,300 for salary. Garrett Cole, $9,500 for salary. Next, Bibby, $8,600 for salary. In terms of a budget pick, if you need to go with a budget pitcher, I think you would go with Tanner Bibby. So that's dependent on, of course, where your salary's at. If you're taking a star pitcher, then I think you would go with Garrett Cole. I do like his September outings. Remember, this is a guy who did not pitch for part of the season, so he's not going to, even though he's a veteran, he's not going to be tired, I don't think, because he spent a lot of time on the disabled list. Zach Wheeler at $10,300. You're dealing with that case where you see the performer, but that's just driven his salary through the roof. It's risky. He's going against the Mets. The Mets are coming off a 3-game series. They might be a little tired. And they also played that doubleheader back on Monday. They could really crash in this game. It's a long series, but the games against Milwaukee were difficult. The last 2 especially. Very tiring games in my opinion. Coming down to late inning at bats. I'm just not sold on the salary. I'm worried about taking $10,300 and not getting what you need out of it. So I'm thinking Garrett Cole is the right pick at $9,500, and that Tanner Bibby is the good second pick if you need to shave off the salary down to something in the budget range because you want to take some premium hitters. So those are my 2 recommendations. I wouldn't go with Zach Wheeler in this case. I'm not saying that he's not going to get a lot of strikeouts or pitch well. I just think you can do better bang for the buck. So if you're going with your FanDuel fantasy, your pitcher, Garrett Cole or Tanner Bibby.